Major claims have came out recently in Pooh Shiesty's court paperwork, revealing some weird behavior, with Pooh Shiesty having 2 cases of using a firearm towards 3 individuals. Rap OGs in the industry found it odd how the Memphis rapper was only sentenced to 8 years in prison, when the original charges was near life in prison. This led to rappers of Shiesty's crew reacting to these snitching claims, and everything went crazy from here. Now, the paperwork in Shiesty's court case has finally been revealed. Pooh Shiesty was arrested for using a firearm towards 2 people in an armed robbery. The original charges were federal charges of conspiracy to possess firearms in an armed robbery and using a firearm during a crime. Shiesty was looking at 25 years inside a federal prison until he created a plea deal with the feds. As mentioned by Whack 100 and DJ Academics, Pooh Shiesty used what's called a proffer. A proffer is when the criminal provides additional detailed information to the feds relating to the offense for which immunity, or in this case, a lesser sentence, is granted. Now, Pooh Shiesty used this proffer to have the charges of life in prison dropped in exchange for an 8-year sentence. But we're now seeing rappers call out Pooh Shiesty for working with the feds, as Whack 100 on the app Clubhouse ends up calling out Pooh Shiesty for snitching on 2 of his friends inside of these court cases. Within the proffer, a deal was made within Shiesty and the judge that if he gave additional information on the 2 people, then Pooh Shiesty would be given a lesser charge. After Whack 100 made these comments, this made Big 30 get involved. With Big 30 being a member of Shiesty's crew, he replies to these snitching claims, saying, "That irrelevant man always voices his opinion on stuff. My man didn't snitch on anyone. Why you think Shiesty ain't out of jail? He didn't cooperate with the rats." Now, Whack 100 and others believe that Pooh Shiesty snitched in this court case, as it mentions that Shiesty met 2 individuals inside of a parking lot. You can see Pooh Shiesty arriving to the parking lot driving a bright green McLaren, as these video surveillance cameras are located on a police station. When Shiesty and his boy arrive, they hop out of their vehicles. With Pooh Shiesty wearing his famous Shiesty mask, he was originally supposed to buy high-end sneakers as well as some narcotics. Now, everything was going normal. Shiesty was showing these 2 individuals around his McLaren, and when the transaction was about to go down, Pooh Shiesty, I guess, changed his mind, pulled a firearm out of his waistband, and used it towards the 2 individuals. Hitting one in the hip and the other one in the backside, Pooh Shiesty quickly grabbed the sneakers and narcotics off of the vehicle, threw it into his McLaren, and tried to rush out of the parking lot. While rushing out of the parking lot, Pooh Shiesty didn't realize a Louis Vuitton bag fell out of his McLaren door. In this Louis bag, there was $40,912 in cash. After the incident went down, Pooh Shiesty headed towards the airport, rented a private jet, and flew right out of Miami, Florida, before they even had a chance of arresting him. The evidence files in this court case were released with all of the new proffer details. In this court case, this Instagram photo of Pooh Shiesty was used against him. As you can see, Pooh Shiesty took a selfie with his bright green McLaren that he rented for that week. Pooh Shiesty posted this selfie with this car the exact same day he committed an armed robbery with it. The next piece of evidence was the Louis Vuitton bag holding $40,912 in cash. Now, this is being used against Shiesty, as after the robbery went down, with the Louis bag falling out of the bright green McLaren, the feds were able to scoop the bag off of the parking lot and then take it in as evidence. They had a pretty good idea of who did this armed robbery, so the feds went to Pooh Shiesty's Instagram, downloaded some photos where he was stretching money across his body, and with very good police work, they were able to match the serial numbers from a selfie that Shiesty did this picture with the bills that were found inside of the Louis Vuitton bag. Now, Pooh Shiesty is a very lucky man in this case, only getting 8 years in prison, as Florida's 10-20 life rule states that you'll be put into prison for 10 years if you pull out a firearm and you use it without a license. 20 years in prison if you pull out the firearm and use it without defending yourself. then sentenced to 25 to life in prison if you pull a firearm out and that person is then affected. This is why many rap OGs believe that Shiesty did a little bit more than just giving additional information to the feds. Now sadly, this isn't the only case that Shiesty will be facing, as in the second court case, it states that while at the King of Diamonds club, Memphis rapper Pooh Shiesty was performing for a crowd, and during his performance, Shiesty was seen having $40K cash sitting in his skinny jeans pockets. According to the arrest warrant, Pooh Shiesty was performing at this club when someone in the crowd knocked the stack of cash out of his pocket. With $40K cash falling onto the floor, all of the people in the club made a massive circle around it and tried to grab as much as they could. With everyone in the crowd grabbing $40K cash, they immediately sprinted out of the club. This is when Pooh Shiesty hopped onto the crowd's floor and tried to rush after them. While exiting the club, Shiesty was caught on film pulling a firearm out of his waistband by someone recording the show near the exit doors. A few moments after, all you hear is a firearm being used, as Pooh Shiesty used a firearm outside of the club towards a security guard, as witnesses claim it was Shiesty who did the act. Quickly after, Shiesty handed the firearm over to one of his boys, who quickly left the scene and was never seen again. Now, a massive update in this case came out, as the security guard that Shiesty used a firearm against no longer wants to press charges against the Memphis rapper. The security guard takes back all statements he gave to law enforcement, as he claims that he no longer remembers if it was Shiesty who aimed and used a firearm towards him. This is due to the paramedics that arrived to the scene, giving him some sort of medicine to help deal with the pain. Now, this medicine allegedly gave him memory loss. Now he no longer remembers what happened. This makes him no longer want to press charges, as he doesn't want to sentence a young rapper to life in prison if he doesn't even know if it was truly him. Now, this information will be coming present to the judge at his next court hearing, and this court hearing will be the biggest of Pooh Shiesty's life. So when you take into account the proffer deal that Shiesty made, only having an 8-year sentence for committing an armed robbery against 2 individuals, as well as all charges maybe getting dropped in another court case, is Shiesty either the luckiest rapper of all time, or has he been paying big bucks to get the second case dropped, as well as the first case having a lesser sentence? Anyways, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. I'm out. Peace.